Hey, today's shave, I'm going to use this 1305 from Semogue. It's a Boar brush. I'm going to try the Buffalo base from Holy Cow, a sample provided by a friend online. Very cool, thanks Keith. And I really like the scent on this. This is Holy Cow's Buffalo base. Yeah, it's just a really, really nice scent. Got to be leather and some other cool man things in there. I really like it, at least from the dry puck. We'll see how it works. When lathered, I did press a 1/4 teaspoon of it into the bottom of my lather bowl. If you want to 3D print one of these yourself, the link is in the description. So I'm in a Boarathon where I'm taking about 7 Boar brushes and bringing them all up together. And so this is now the 14th use of this one. So they're all kind of starting to move from 13 to 14 uses. And this has been a good one, a nice massagey feel. The tips are being a little slow to split. And so it's going to get softer later as that happens. And the special guy for today's shave, the soap is special because it's new, but the special guy is also a loaner. And this little adjustable razor right here, pretty short thing. It's very heavy weighted on the head. The balance point is even a little far head forward than this adjustment dial. This is a Gibbs razor, a Gibbs adjustable number 17. And it's beautiful condition. And the black handle here is plastic. Everything else, I believe, though, is metal. It's got a nice weight to the head, very head focused, and so that'll be interesting to see how that feels. It's adjustable, and I'm going to put it on the N setting. Now I guess N might be for normal. There's 1 all the way around to 6. I was going to try 2 at first, but I've got 30 hours of growth on here, so I'm going to start with a 3 instead, because I looked at the blade exposure and it looked like maybe the 2 might be a more conservative place to start for a new razor. So you can see this kind of tab that's sticking up right there. There's an identical one on the other side. Now I was also trying to see if maybe you could see there's a little bit of waviness on one of the sides of the blades. I don't guess you can see it. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But there's these posts on the side, and there's nothing in between except the shaft from the top cap going through the handle. And so this is these get in the way of normal DE blades. And so you have to cut away part of the blade. I've seen one internet video where the guy partially assembles it with a normal DE blade and then bangs it down so that these posts will chip away on the 2 sides of the blade, and therefore make it a compatible blade. But this is a loaner, and even if it was mine, I probably wouldn't do that unless it was just a beater where it had a lot of wear on it, because I could see that operation kind of just wearing on these pieces here and scratching it up and stuff. And so I'm definitely I did not do that. Basically what I did was I took scissors and trimmed away. I don't want to show you on the actual blade until after the shave. And so I'll get out. Here's this Balsano I've been using for a few times. So here is the side, and basically I took half the width from the inside here to the outside here, and I just cut with scissors, sharp scissors, and removed half the width of this piece right here, and same on the other side. And that's all I did. And so, and it fits right in there. Now you have to adjust it, because that's with the Gibbs proprietary blades, that would keep it in exact alignment. But but when you're converting DE blades, that's not going to happen unless you just want to get an X-Acto knife or you know, something and cut them in exactly the right place. And I didn't feel like doing that. So it's not very difficult at all to just trim off the sides of the blade, and then it will fit in the Gibbs razor. So this will be fun to try out. All right, so we are going to just a little splash of water. Lots of beard today. Just had a weird schedule lately. And I finally got a haircut. Gonna shake most of the water off the brush. Heard really good things about this buffalo base. Tried their donkey milk and it's really nice. I don't have a lot of Holy Cow because they seem to be creating scents that are more in a category that's embracing strong florals and kind of scents that I would say are mainly a little bit feminine. But this is definitely not one of them. I also like their Cuero Oscuro, kind of a spicy scent that's definitely not feminine. They have an older one called Dark Vetiver in one of their older bases. I think it's out of production, but I really like that one too. Alright, here we go a little bit. It is coming together. It didn't really foam up like some bases do. It's kind of staying low. We'll go ahead and add a teaspoon. Make sure I scrub in all directions because sometimes those spokes will hide bits of the soap to keep it from coming into the lather, getting integrated and stuff. This brush is I think it has the premium bristles, or some pretty high grade bristles from Semogue. It's compatible, similar to the 830. Just has a longer handle, which I really enjoy. It's a wooden handle. It is painted, kind of an enamel coating, but as the 830 has the lucite or the acrylic handle, and when that gets wet and soapy, I find that really tough to hold on to. Oh, some interesting notes, maybe some, something in the orange family like bergamot or something, maybe starting to come out when it's wet now. Looks really nice. Use that syringe to be able to add water easily, whether it's a drop or a whole teaspoon. It lets me do it pretty quickly and easily. It also lets me count so that if I want to adjust a soap base, adjust how much water I'm adding, then it lets me do that pretty easily too. So what we have after 1.5 teaspoons of water, it's coming together. Very nice looking. So this reminds me of the new bases from like Declaration and Barristered Man, Icarus and Excelsior, respectively. because it kind of stays low and kind of gluey as you're building it up. Do a little finger test. Nice and slick, kind of thin, not a lot of cushion. As to what cushion actually does for a shaver, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, we're mainly focused on the protection it's going to give to our skin and the slickness it's going to give to our razor, and those kind of walk hand in hand and maybe are synonymous, because if you get good slickness, then it's going to protect you well. It might be the right way of thinking. I wonder if I should, let me just, this looks too thick, but why don't I go ahead and shave with it and see. I don't want to thin it out. All right, so here's where I'm stopping. Let me get it all down to a glop, show you. Not too elastic. Wasn't a long stretch, you know, it just kind of separated and dropped. So there's not a whole lot of elasticity to it at this point. Looks really nice. I just put a little bit more water on my face. Yeah, this brush, nice and soft. No scritch at all. But still I'd say medium. I may be rated as a 5 or a 4 in terms of backbone, you know, out of 10. Nice massagey feel to it. Doesn't feel floppy to me. Maybe the tips might, but I think the bristles are okay. Now I wonder what would happen if I gave this a little bit more water. Is it going to kind of activate it, or is it going to thin it down? This is the, I think it's going to thin it down. All right, we'll leave it that way. This is the first pass, and so the oils in my skin are working against the lather. Which is fine with me. I don't mind. I don't mind that. I don't have to. Then that means I don't have to do a pre-wash. All right, here we go, Gibbs. Nice and beautiful and shiny. Well cared for Gibbs razor. Very nice, very nice. The other side of my face here was just shaved really well. Very smooth there. This is just a really nice razor. And I'm pretty sure they're not making them anymore. So a little piece of history as well. All right, I'm gonna rinse. Well, one thing I'm really glad about is that I stopped adding water when I did. Very nice, and it was good that I did, because the lather would have gotten a little too thin. Another thing is that is a smooth and efficient razor. I felt almost no stubble when I did my rinse right there. This lather feels great. I tend not to like these lower structure lathers that just kind of are gluey and stuff. The other ones just have a little better feel to me. Like I like the Bison base better than the Icarus from Declaration Grooming. But this is still a wonderful soap. And I can see why tons of people like it. I mean, it feels just nice and creamy, feels really good. Now for this next pass, why don't I dial it down to a 2? And this razor is interesting because it's this ring that moves and the numbers don't. Where on the traditional Gillette adjustables, the numbers are on the ring as well. The ring is taller, so it's a little different. Now you've got a red dot here that shows you where your setting is. And we'll have more close-ups and stuff at the end of the shave of the razor here. Cross grain now. Having to rinse a little bit more because this lather is really kind of thin and watery, and I didn't really want it dripping off my razor onto my shirt. This is just a very comfortable shaver. I realize 2 is probably a pretty mild setting, but wow. I'm going to be interested to see what kind of shave I get, because it feels like it's a really efficient one. It feels like it's doing a really good job of cutting. And rinse. Guys, I'm done. 2 passes. I didn't do anything different with my technique or style, and there's no hairs to cut. Wow. And just so comfortable. So this little guy is just a gem. I normally don't like the razors that are weighted toward the head, but it just, once it's on your face, I think that it all just works. And I didn't feel a problem with that at all. Felt comfortable, felt easy to use, maneuverable, plenty of grip on the handle. With these plastic handles, I think there are a lot of them that are broken or something like that out there, so this is nice to have one in such good condition. Wow, what a great comfortable cut. And this is a Gillette Silver Blue blade, the one I modified by snipping the sides. It's a Gillette Silver Blue and it's new. So wow, that's just, in terms of closeness, one of the top shaves that I've had, and that's without even trying. Very, very nice. And so after 2 passes, we don't need as much soap. I definitely had maybe 4 passes of lather, maybe 3.5 available to me if I needed it. So that scent, it's really nice. I think I'll definitely be on the lookout for this as maybe a used soap online. I mean, because this is pricey. It's like 26 bucks, I think. 24, somewhere around there to buy it outright new. And that's expensive. And it doesn't seem like it's one of those that's going to last like Martin de Condre is really expensive, like 60 bucks. However, it'll last you longer than a year, maybe a year and a half, and so when you look at cost per shave, it's actually pretty low. And there's other ones like Prix de Provence, number 63 is a really hard soap, but it'll last just a long time. It's cheaper than this one, and it'll last 8 months or maybe even a year. And so I don't know about buying this one new. Sure smells awesome, and the performance is nice. And so if you're a premium shaver, then maybe that's for you. this ticks all the marks for me, but the cost might be something that keeps me kind of away. But it's a beautiful lather. It's got a great sheen to it. I feel like I dialed it in just right. It felt great rinsing it off, nice and creamy, but also about as slick as you can get without still staying creamy, or without moving away from creamy into too thin. So, and the brush did wonderfully, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to clean up. Yeah, I think this would be a nice post shave as well. If you had the aftershave, that would be really a nice manly type scent. Well done, holy cow. All right, just got to finish stropping this guy with a towel. He's blooming more and more each time. Not tons of split ends, like I said, but it'll get there. Some people might call this floppy, and if you're looking for something with strong backbone, this is not your brush. But I consider it kind of medium to maybe slightly less than medium, and so I think it's a perfect blend, and it gives me a nice comfortable shave while still being able to stir up a lather from pretty much anything. So I really enjoy this guy. Nice scent on this. I'm enjoying that. So how much water? Just 2 teaspoons. I filled it up but never used any of the second one, so just 2 teaspoons of water for that 1/4 teaspoon of soap, and it would have given me plenty enough lather for 3-pass shave. So let's take a look at this razor. Here's the blade, and as you can see, the end tabs have had half the width there cut off, and it makes it a little bit more flimsy and bendy, but the razor will hold it just fine. And notice that the bottom of the blade is supported back from the edge several millimeters, but this still ends up to be a really smooth shaver. So this is a 3-piece basically, because the adjustment is up here, but what holds everything in place is this kind of knob here. And then this cap comes out. See, there's nothing right there on the top cap on the base plate here to help align the blade except these proprietary tabs here. And this gave me such a wonderful shave that I think it's totally worth the little bit of blade modification that I had to do to make it work. And it held the blade securely, it didn't move, and I didn't have to tighten it down, too tight, just a normal amount, and it held just fine. But let's see, you've got some words under there. Razor, is that a model number? Yeah, looks like some kind of model or serial number. And then also the Gibbs logo there. So it looks like it's a well-constructed piece. It's nice looking. And so to fit on, and you've got to be careful. I had to be careful when taking off the blade, because I always take them off by grabbing the end tabs. But when it's on here, the end tabs are non-grabbable because they've been trimmed, and so I had to be very careful when removing. So the shaft goes down there, and then like that. And then what you do is you tighten it down only a little bit, so that you can then use something like a popsicle stick. I saw that done online. I went ahead and just used my fingernail. But you obviously use appropriate safety precautions, and if you feel like you're not competent enough to adjust a blade with your fingernail without slipping and cutting yourself, then for goodness sake, don't try it. And so you even up the blade exposure on both sides, and then tighten it down the rest of the way, and now you're good to go. So it's wow, I'm really impressed with the shave. Really impressed. Very nice, very nice. So I'm really grateful for the sample that Keith sent me. Really nice to try out that new base from Holy Cow. I can see why people like it a lot. my face feel right now? Excellent. No drying or anything like that. So that's one of the trends of the new bases, is a lean toward proper or really good conditioning of your skin for the after the shave facts. And that's really important for a lot of sensitive skin folks, dry skin folks. Really helps them out. Me, I don't care quite as much. I've got balms to do that, and so I don't need to pay extra for a premium soap that does that. I'd prefer more soaps instead of putting lotion in my soap, in essence. But that's all right. I can see how this is a really, really nice soap for a lot of people out there. And there's certainly a target audience that likes Holy Cow and their whole scent profiles and things like that. And that's fine. It's just not my style. But I'm really grateful for the opportunity to try this one out. Definitely put Pasha's Pride on my want list. Maybe for like some kind of Christmas thing, or maybe if I see one used on the market, definitely snatch that guy up. So very grateful, very nice to be able to try that out. So I can walk away from this shave without any post-shave product if I want. Skin feels really nice. All right, great shave with that razor. Really impressed me with the efficiency and smoothness. Wow, and maybe the proprietary aspect is what caused it not to really take off and be embraced by tons and tons of people. That's all I can think of. But a really good shave. And talked about the soap already. Talked about the razor. Enjoyed the brush. We're good. Hope there was something here for you. There may not be a whole lot of Gibbs razor shaves out there. And so I'm also grateful for Keith for giving me that for a loan for a little while. And I'll use it, put up some videos. And so hopefully we can get the word out on this nice little razor. And that'll be nice. So I hope there was something here for you. You take care. And I'm not shaving at night today, so I'll say good day. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves.